Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. This time we're playing in the IS-3 and we're on the map Caen, however it's pronounced, and we're going to see what we can do. Luckily for us, it's on Assault, and Assault I find way more fun to play than Standard Battle on this map. The Standard Battle you spawn on both sides of the hill, and then it's just kind of a mid-ridge poking. There aren't that many great positions. There's nowhere to really use your view range unless you're trying to spot the campers on the other side. And it can be a really stale fight. It's not very fun. And the fight's so spread out that a lot of times you just don't get much done. And the town is also very small. It's not very used. So there's not much point going there if you're in a heavy tank. But with Assault, I find the fight is much more dynamic. You're not so confined to fighting on the middle ridge. You get to come down along either side, and it's really how I think the standard battle spawns should be. You should be fighting down the ridge. You shouldn't be on opposite sides. It really makes it way more difficult for a lot of vehicles, and it causes people to camp in their spawn and just try to poke shots at people fighting on the middle ridge. But lucky for us, we don't have to worry about that. This game, we're going to push up into these rocks and try to see what we can do. We get tracked by a T-25-2, so we're going to look for where he shot from. I'm going to wait until I think he's going to be reloaded, because that's when he'd pop out again. Just by the off chance that he saw me looking at him and he pulled back. And then once he was reloaded, he'll pull back out. And we managed to put a shot into him blind. Not sure if he just stayed there the whole time. He probably did, but we might as well try to catch him as he pops out, just in case. We've loaded the APCR for the T10. We don't want to mess around with him. In this type of matchup, I think there's only like 2 or 3 tier 9s on each team. He's the most dangerous tank that they have, I believe. So we don't want to mess around. We don't want to risk taking a big hit from him. And we're also looking to get our 3rd mark this game if everything goes well. So you can have some really nice fights by these rocks. There's similar rocks and outcrops on the other side of the map, directly on the opposite side of the map. We're going to see if we can get a chance to put a shot into this hammer. He pops up, lets us have one, but unfortunately we hit an auto bounce angle. Even with our APCR loaded, which we were hoping to use on the T10, we didn't hit him at a good spot. I was trying to hit just outside of his mantlet, and we might have been able to go through his mantlet anyway. But we hit the side of his turret at a crazy angle, so it just bounces off. We catch the rev out, put a nice shot in there. There's something else shooting us in the back. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I think it was a fairly low caliber gun, so there's not too much to worry about. And we managed to put a shot right into the T10 again. The reason that I have these APCR loaded is because of exactly that. I can just go through the upper plate at a bad angle on the T10. The hull armor is not very good. And the APCR allows us to go straight through the AT-15 as well. For those of you that don't know, you don't have to only hit them in the cupola, the machine gun port on the top left. It also has a huge weak point on its gun mantlet. So if you don't have anything else to shoot at, or you're far away, the gun mantlet's a big target. Just shoot towards its gun, and a lot of times you'll find you'll penetrate. So we get a little sloppy here. We ignore the IS because we want to be able to finish off the T10. But I end up going over. I don't have the gun depression to shoot down at his hull. And I end up taking a hit, and then I have a really poorly aimed shot. Goes above his turret. We don't want to switch to our AP shells, so these APCR are completely useless against a hammer. But just in case this happened, where this T10 decided to come for us, we needed those APCR, or if we got a chance to poke on them, we needed it. We didn't really have time at any point to reload an AP shell instead. And so some of these APCR were really unnecessary, but it would be better to fire an unnecessary APCR round and still do damage than try to reload an AP shell and wait 10 seconds and let an enemy get away with not taking another shot. So with the T10 down, we have a lot easier of a fight over here. We're going to take the hammer out, and then we're going to go back over, try to poke for the IS, the M4 Rev that we saw, and see what we can do. An M51 pops up. This is not the type of fight that I really want to be in an IS-3 against a medium with the same alpha damage as me, a little slower rate of fire, but he has 10 degrees of gun depression. But if he's going to sit there, let us have shots at his turret, a tier 5 turret, we're not going to have any problem with 225 millimeters of pen going right through it. I was wiggling my gun to try to help cover up my weak point on top of my turret. The IS-3 roof of the turret is really weak, so we wanted to make sure that he couldn't look down and try to put a shot into there. The gun doesn't cover it all up, but wiggling it back and forth discourages him from trying to shoot for it, and sometimes your gun will eat the shot. We managed to finish off the M4 Rev, and now we're going to try to work over the IS. The M51 doesn't look like he wants anything to do with us, so if he's going to stay down there and we still have shots, we're going to keep putting them in. We get a nice high roll, finish off the IS, and now the M51 is going to try to push us. But our reload's not too bad. We managed to put in another shell. I don't think he even fired, and I'm not sure what he's doing. I don't think he's fired yet. There he goes. And he puts it right into our mantlet. He had the hull of my tank, didn't take it. Maybe he was ammo racked, waiting for a while. And luckily, we can take him out just in time to turn around and deal with this AT-15, who decides not to focus us, so we're just going to drive alongside of him, plant a shell into him. We try to ram him to take his tracks off to hope to pick up some assistance damage from our teammates, but we end up just tracking ourselves. So now there's only a few of the enemies left. We're going to try to push into the town where the base is and hope to clean up some, and hopefully pick up our 6th kill for the Top Gun medal. We spot the AMX 5100, but we don't want to stop. We want to close the distance, get under his gun, and lucky for us, he doesn't even focus us, and he stops right out in the open. We're going to be able to put in a big shot, and there he goes. So now it is just the Comet ahead of us, who's on very little hit points, and I think there's also a Tiger 1. We're going to go straight in, no worries. The Comet can't even really pen our frontal armor unless he fires premium rounds. And the Tiger 1 is a one-shot for us, so we're going to try to focus him first. He can do the most damage to us, and he's also exposing himself to my teammates behind me. So I kind of want to shoot him first, get him out of the game, secure my 5th kill, and then hopefully pick up the 6th on the Comet. We don't mind taking a hit from the Comet. We still have our fire extinguisher just in case he sets us on fire, and we manage to take out the Tiger. He's going to try to circle us, but if you turn your tracks and your turret at the same time, which many of you I'm sure know, you can manage to get your gun around on anything trying to circle you. Unfortunately, we only take his tracks off. I aimed it a little too low as he went up on the high ground. So we end up with the tracking damage and miss out on our Top Gun, unfortunately. But it is still a great game anyway. We managed to pick up our 3rd mark this game. We managed just over 6,000 damage and 5 kills, and we picked up the mastery. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.